Alrighty, what is up, Squadron? We are back with another episode of TFI, the Filmmakers Infomercial. Alright? If you haven't liked, subscribed, or commented on any of them, go ahead. It only takes you 5 seconds, alright? But this week it's going to be a little different. Instead of obviously giving you recommendations of kind of old assortments of movies that I think a lot of people haven't seen or haven't, in honor of the Super Bowl coming up, this is going to be exclusively football movies. So many of you probably have seen these movies, but if some of you haven't seen these movies, or just want to go back and rewatch them, obviously because we're going to be without football for 6 to 7 months, you know, you want to relive those glory days and watch some football, I got you, all right? So I think there's 10 here. I think I got 10 movies. I mean, now given these are movies that I personally have seen all of these, and there are a few when I was going through this, I was like, oh damn, I was like, I haven't seen that one, and I know that people speak highly of them as good football movies. And yeah, so if I miss one, let me know. All right, we're all human. We miss some things, you know. I gotta watch some. I got a lot of watching of things to do, you know. So without further ado, number uno, probably one of my favorites, definitely of all time. Remember the Titans. I think everyone and their mother has seen this movie. Obviously, it's a great movie. It's based on a true story. It has a great score. I mean, that's probably one of the things besides the story that I love about it is the score and soundtrack of the movie is phenomenal. If you don't believe me, just go type in Titan Spirit, Trevor Raven on YouTube, and just be amazed at the 7.5 minutes you're about to listen to. And if you've seen the movie a lot, like me, you can probably pinpoint every point in the movie when the orchestra is playing the main theme of the movie. So yeah, that's a casual viewing. I mean, it's about an hour 50. So that's a obviously classic movie to watch. I probably watch it like once or twice a year when I see it on. The next movie, Full Sender, first like full sender I've posted. It's about 2 hours 40 minutes. Any Given Sunday. Oliver Stone written and directed. You know, football fans that like football movies or just grew up watching football, playing football probably know this movie. Maybe your non-traditional fans know about it. Al Pacino, Jamie Foxx, Dennis Quaid, Hall of Fame running back Jim Brown's in it as a coach. If anything, I mean, it's based on about a fictional pro football team and everything that comes around it with the players and coaches. If anything, if you don't watch this, I would just say go on YouTube and type in Al Pacino halftime speech, Any Given Sunday. One of the greatest speeches in film history, in my opinion. I mean, you're ready to run through a brick wall after you hear that speech, but great movie nonetheless. Next, for all my Notre Dame friends out there, Rudy. I mean, obviously, this is probably the most iconic movie, I'd probably say, because it came out in 93 before any of these movies I've been mentioning, or will mention, rather. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows the story. Rudiger, that also has a very iconic score to it. The main title, main theme, and then the tryout scene. Yeah, if you heard it, I mean, I would bet if you put the main title and the tryout scene on, and most people heard it, or most guys, I'd say, they'd be like, "Oh, that's from Rudy." Obviously, great underdog story, and yeah, I mean, can't go wrong with that one. Possibly, actually, this one might have to be my favorite. The Replacements. All right, Keanu Reeves as Shane Falco. All right, probably the greatest film character name in Shane Falco. This movie is actually loosely based on, I believe it was the 1980s. The NFL had a strike, player strike, so they had to use replacement players for like 4 or 5 games. It's kind of loosely based on that. And if I could just say anything about this movie is this line at the climax of the movie. Pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever. That's all you need to know about this movie. Next, another classic, Friday Night Lights, Billy Bob Thornton, Texas football. I mean, yeah, everyone knows about this movie. The soundtrack done by Explosions in the Sky that just absolutely like ripped everyone's heart out. Like watching that movie, you're just like, man, I don't even know what went through those guys' mind when they were making that song, but whew. Yeah, so obviously everyone knows this movie. Bowie Miles. Also another great halftime speech. The Preacher, the quietest guy on the team, just goes off on the halftime. So great movie. Obviously, many people have obviously seen this movie, but if you want to relive your high school football days, that's a fun one to watch. Classic. And obviously those past three were all casual viewings. They're right around an hour 40. The next one, The Waterboy. Who doesn't love Adam Sandler? I mean, there's not much I can say about this movie as like Bobby Boucher. Like everyone loves this movie. Waterboy comedy. I mean, the Gator Bowl. Joe Montano. Next, We Are Marshall. Just pushing it past the full sentence. About 2 hours 10 minutes. Obviously, if you know the story, you know the story. If you don't, in the 70s, the Marshall football team plane crash, obviously killing the majority of the football team and coaches. It's this kind of like story of the bounce back of like that football program. And probably gave a lot. I mean, for most of my generation and probably before, like never knew about this probably until this story or until this film was made. And to be honest, I didn't even know Marshall was a university besides the fact of this, and then I realized that Randy Moss went there. So, 2 and 2 together. But obviously Matthew McConaughey plays the head coach in this one. Great movie, Another great movie, The Rock. Now, if I say The Rock, you're probably thinking, oh, the game plan. I'm not talking about the Disney The Game Plan. I'm talking about Gridiron Gang, all right? It's based, I believe this one's based on a true story. Yeah, it is based on true. They have the end credit scenes. The Rock plays this coach that runs a football team through a juvenile detention center. It's a great movie. Not much. I haven't seen this one in years, to be honest, but I remember this was like probably I watched the movie a lot when I was younger. I don't know why. But it's a great movie. I think I had it on DVD. Next, Little Giants. I would be remiss if I didn't add Little Giants in here. I mean, this is a classic movie of like all of our childhoods, and I think everyone loves this movie. It's a football movie, but it's more like just like a fun family movie, if you will. And I had to add it in here because obviously it has one of the greatest play calls of all time, the annexation of Puerto Rico. All right, and if you don't know that play, watch this movie and you'll understand what the annexation of Puerto Rico is. Okay, so, and last but not least, Marky Mark, the man himself, Vince Papale, in the movie Invincible, made by Disney for families. The 30-year-old bartender from Philly back in the mid-70s. Got a tryout. I'm not saying I probably haven't seen this movie in like 15 years, but I mean I do remember it, and I think all of us dudes that played probably think like, hey man, if there was ever a tryout, maybe I could play out there with those big boys. Probably not, but we all can dream, can't we? So, that's it. That's it for this week. You had all those football movies that can tide you over, maybe until next football season. That's it, folks. Bye-bye.